Hello students, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to discuss a topic from plant transport. This topic covers IGCSE, GCSE and O-levels biology. In plant transport, uh, the topic under discussion today is transpiration, and within this topic we will also discuss the adaptations of the desert plants as well. So, transpiration. What is meant by transpiration? So, transpiration is the escape of water molecules as water vapors from the aerial parts of the plant body. So, aerial parts means the plant parts that are exposed in the air. So, from these parts, like leaf, like stem, shoots, from these parts, water molecules are escaping as water vapors, and this process is known as transpiration. So this transpiration accounts two mechanisms. One is evaporation, where the water molecules are escaping as vapors, particularly in the leaves, and they are accumulating in the air spaces of the leaves. And then from the air spaces of the leaves, these water molecules escape through stomata, means they can diffuse out of stomata down the concentration gradient into the surrounding atmosphere. So in this way, we can say that transpiration accounts two processes. One is evaporation, and the second is diffusion of the vapors through stomata of the leaves. Now, this transpiration is very much beneficial for the plants. Why? Because plants are living organisms based on the living cells, and these living cells are continuously exercising respiration to maintain their metabolic activities. And there are certain metabolic activities, even including respiration and photosynthesis, that actually involve enzymes. And you know that enzymes work best at optimum temperature. Plants, where they are grown, they spend whole their life in that area, and they are constantly absorbing heat from the surrounding. And if their body temperature increases above the optimum temperature that is normally required for the enzyme activity, if the plant body temperature increases above that optimum temperature, so these plants are likely to die. Why? Because enzymes would get denatured, and once the enzymes get denatured, all those metabolic activities involving photosynthesis are involving respiration, and certain other metabolic activities would stop, and this would result the cells going to die. And at the same time, membranes at higher temperature, they also become more permeable, and again the cells would not be able to maintain their identity, so they are likely to die. So this transpiration helps in a way that plant absorbs heat from the surrounding gradually, but this heat is absorbed by the water molecules present inside the plant body. You know that water has got a specific heat capacity and latent heat of vaporization. So due to that, all that heat that is absorbed by the plant, that is carried by the water molecules, and due to the collisions between them, this heat is transmitted to the water molecules present on the top, present in the top surfaces. So these water molecules, using those energies, they escape as vapors, and they accumulate in the air spaces inside the leaves. So the vapors now are with the high energies, and they have carried all those energies that were absorbed by the plants, and later these vapors escape by means of diffusion through the stomata of the leaves. So the water vapors that are escaping, they are with the high energies, and rest of the water molecules left behind, they are with the lower energies. And the water molecules that enter the plant body through roots from the soil, they are also with the lower energies. So ultimately, plant body temperature is maintained to the optimum level, and that helps its survival. At the same time, transpiration pull, that is generated due to the continuous water stream upward. So this transpiration pull also results water movement through the xylem from roots to the leaves, and the water that moves from roots to the leaves, some of the water is used in photosynthesis, and the minerals are also traveling along with water in the water soluble state. So this transpiration helps in continuous supply of water and minerals to the leaves, so that photosynthetic activity can also occur at its maximum, and minerals could be supplied well for making different types of proteins. If you people are taking exams through any of the boards, Cambridge, Edexcel, AQA, or OCR, and you are taking biology exam, please subscribe this channel and contact me for quality education, for quality guidance to achieve maximum possible grades in your exam. Transpiration is an inevitable evil. Why? Why we call it inevitable evil? Remember one thing, transpiration accounts water loss from the plant body, and that must be compensated by water uptake through the roots. If water loss and water uptake is balanced, so there is no problem at all. So the water molecules that are escaping as vapors into the atmosphere, they are balanced by the water molecules absorbed through the roots, no problem to the plant body. But if water loss exceeds the water uptake, and this occurs very frequently, so that would result the cells losing most of their water into the surrounding. They are going to be plasmalized, and plant organs are likely to wilt, and if this condition continues for a prolonged time, the plant is likely to die. So it is very important for a plant to stay healthy, so water loss must be compensated by the water uptake. Generally, transpiration can take place by three means. Means transpiration through the stomata of the leaves, and that is maximum transpiration, or in other words, you can say more than 95% of the transpiration occurs through the stomata of the leaves, and that accounts the maximum. And major discussions also revolve around this stomatal transpiration. However, transpiration can also take place through thin cuticle over the leaf epidermis, or can also occur through the lenticels that are actually small channels present inside the shoots or the stems of the plant body. There are certain factors that can influence transpiration, and these factors, when they increase or decrease, so they can also cause an increase or decrease in the rate of transpiration. And these factors include environmental temperature, light intensity, humidity, wind speed, and surface area of the leaf. As I told you earlier, that most of the transpiration occurs through the leaf, and orientation and number of stomata that are present in the leaves. Now we are going to discuss these factors one by one and their impact on the transpiration. When we talk about environmental temperature, so it has been observed increasing environmental temperature also increases the rate of transpiration. Means more the environmental temperature around, more the hot day around, plant body is likely to absorb more water and more heat, and more water molecules are likely to absorb that heat and escaping as vapors from the plant body. So in a way we can say there is a direct relation between environmental heat and transpiration rate. So increasing heat in the environment, increasing temperature in the environment, more is the rate of transpiration. But at certain times of the day, when there is a very high temperature around and we are expecting higher rate of transpiration, but we do not get that. Why? Because at certain times, even though there is high temperature around, but water loss exceeds water uptake. So at that time, stomata do not remain open all the time. Rather, stomata are closing at intervals in order to avoid excessive water loss. So transpiration might be occurring at certain times of the day in intervals. So that would be actually preventing the excessive water loss, so that plant body should stay healthy. When it comes to light intensity, so it has been observed that increase in light intensity also increases rate of transpiration. And there are two impacts of the light intensity. The one impact is that increase in light intensity increases temperature in the environment, and again more water molecules will be absorbing heat and they will be escaping as vapors. Second, increase in light intensity will increase in rate of photosynthesis in the leaves. That will also fetch up more water from the plant body, from the roots, and increase in rate of photosynthesis in the guard cells would also result more sugars produced in the guard cells and more turgid they would be, and more turgid the guard cells, stomatal aperture opening is at a wider angle, wider rate. So more vapors are likely to escape or diffuse out through stomata at that time. But again, at certain times of the day when the light intensity is maximum and is well supportive for maximum rate of transpiration, but transpiration do not increase, rather it becomes constant. Why? Because at that time, at higher light intensities, transpiration could account higher water loss rate, then it could be compensated by the water uptake. So at that time, transpiration occurs in intervals. Stomata keeps on closing and opening at intervals to prevent excessive water loss. If you people are taking exams through any of the boards, Cambridge, Edexcel, AQA, or OCR, and you are taking biology exam, please subscribe this channel and contact me for quality education, for quality guidance to achieve maximum possible grades in your exam. When it comes to humidity, so humidity is the water vapors concentrating in the environment around the plant. So more water vapors around, so rate of water loss due to transpiration decreases, and this is due to the decline or decrease in the concentration gradient of vapors. So one concentration of vapors is inside the air spaces in the leaves, and the other water vapor concentration is around. So if more water vapors are around, so means concentration gradient or water vapor gradient decreases, so that results less water vapors escaping into the environment. So in that case, water loss is reduced. So that's why when there is a cloudy atmosphere around, or there is some drizzling or rain going on, so in that case water loss is reduced. Okay. And when it comes to wind speeds, so winds, when these winds blow, in that case, winds, we say they have direct impact on the water loss. Means more winds blowing with the more speeds, more water vapors are going to be lost through the plant body. Why? Because when winds blow, they carry away, blow away the humid air around the plant, resulting in a decrease in humidity, and that decrease in humidity results transpiration rate to increase. When it comes to surface area of the leaf, larger leaves would have more water being lost than the smaller size leaves. Means large leaves would have got more number of stomata on their surface, and they are more exposed to the harsh environmental conditions around. So rate of water loss would be increasing. And when it comes to orientation and number of stomata, so the leaves having stomata more in number would be losing more water during transpiration compared to the leaves of the same size but with less number of stomata. And at the same time, if the leaves are having number of stomata present on the upper epidermis, so they are likely to lose more water because upper epidermis is directly exposed to the harsh environmental conditions around. Whereas lower epidermis, if the stomata are present on the lower epidermis, so less rate of transpiration is observed in that case. When we are likely to calculate the rate of transpiration, so rate of transpiration can be calculated by three means. One, if we figure out the mass of water that has been lost in a given time by the plant body, so that could account the rate of transpiration. Or if we can evaluate the loss of water in terms of volumes in the given time interval from the plant body, so that would also help us to know the rate of transpiration. But again, there is a specific instrument used that is known as potometer, and this potometer, through this potometer, we can see that the distance traveled by the air bubble in this potometer will also result in evaluating the rate of transpiration. This device, one is known as the vertical straight tube potometer, or the other device is known as horizontal potometer. These are made up of glass capillary tubes with the water filled with that, and the plant is inserted, and an air bubble is inserted in that, added in that capillary tube. Then that water bubble is allowed to travel when the plant twig is inserted and transpiration conditions are provided. So the transpiration, when it will take place, so this air bubble will travel through this capillary tube along with the water, and the distance traveled by the air bubble in given time interval, we can calculate the rate of transpiration. So experimentally, more accurate idea can be taken by using these photometers. Then you can see this experiment means you can say there is a balanced electronic balance, and you can see that a plant with the pot has been placed over it, and initial mass is calculated, and after the time interval final mass is calculated. So the difference is mass accounts the mass of water that has been lost, and when it is divided by time, so it results in the rate of transpiration. And in the other experiment, you can see that two leaves have been hanged with the suspended wave balance, and one of the leaf has been introduced with wax coated, and other leaf is not coated with the wax. And you can see the one that is not coated with the wax has lost some water, so its mass has reduced along with the tube, and other leaf that has been coated with the wax did not lose its mass. Why? Because due to wax there is no water loss through stomata. If you people are taking exams through any of the boards, Cambridge, Edexcel, AQA or OCR, and you are taking biology exam, please subscribe this channel and contact me for quality education, for quality guidance to achieve maximum possible grades in your exam. Xerophytes are the plants that survive in the deserts, and these plants are adapted to reduce water loss due to transpiration. They are able to maintain water, and they are able to absorb water at a larger rate. So these plants are surviving in the very harsh climatic conditions, because in deserts there is a very high temperature during the day with the blazing sunlight. Winds are frequently blowing, and hardly any humidity is there in the air, and all these conditions account for excessive water loss. And at the same time, when it comes to water uptake, so desert plants means in the deserts, so even there is very little water available, and even the water that is available is very much deep into the ground. So these conditions are not acceptable by every plant. So not most of the plants are able to survive in these conditions, but the desert plants known as xerophytes can do. And the most prominent xerophyte you are well aware of it is the cactus. So these xerophytes have adaptations. One adaptation means they have adapted to reduce water loss, and they have done it in a way that leaf surface area has been reduced. Stomata are not present on the upper epidermis, rather they are present on the lower epidermis. Cuticle coating over the leaf epidermis has been made very thick. In certain leaves, they have been curved in a way that lower epidermis is rolled inward and further provided into depressions, and the stomata are only present within the depressions, and these stomata are known as sunken stomata. Around these stomata are present hair-like structures known as trichomes, and they ensure retention of the air around that is more humid and with less temperature, so to reduce water loss. And in certain plants, particularly the cactus, the leaves have been modified into spines so that no stomata, no water loss, and even these stomata serve as spines serve as trichomes around the photosynthetic stems of the cactus plant. Means the shape of the leaf, presence of thick cuticle, presence of trichomes, and stomata being in the depressions, so they are reducing the water loss and reducing the rate of transpiration. In certain other cases, you can see in this diagram, one rolled leaf of a desert plant is reflecting, and you can see that stomata are present in the depressions, and these are well concentrated with the trichomes, so that air that is trapped inside these depressions, that is more humid, so that water vapor gradient reduces, and that is with the lower temperature, so that thermal gradient reduces in order to reduce the water loss. Here it is ensured that stomata do not get exposed to the harsh external climate. They are only exposed to the air that is trapped inside these depressions. Then these desert plants are also adopted in a way they have got their succulent stems. Means stems are capable to store large reserves of water. So these retain water in their bodies, and when there is no water supply via roots for large times, so these stored water reserves can be used to ensure plant survival for many months in the desert conditions. And then these desert plants have got very widespread roots all around. These roots are spreading very much larger diameter into the surrounding and very much deep into the ground. So these desert plants are adapted to absorb maximum water when there is a rainfall going on with their widespread roots. And then these plants are able to absorb water from the depths of the soil from very deep into the ground so that they can ensure their survival. So these desert plants have got widespread roots that are also very deep into the ground growing up, and they can absorb maximum water to ensure their survival. And this is one of the cactus plant example you can see, and you can see the spines and the green stem as well, that is photosynthetic. But at the same time, these spines also trap a humid air around this fleshy photosynthetic stem so that water loss could be prevented. So this was about transpiration that occurs in plant body to keep them healthy and surviving in the hot climatic conditions. And we also discussed about various adaptations that xerophytes, means the desert plants, have adopted in order to ensure their successful survival in the desert climate. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for further updates.